In this video, we're going to look at the basics of how an unused part of the nil rate band for inheritance tax purposes can be transferred to the surviving spouse or civil partner. So where a spouse or a civil partner dies, if they have part of their nil rate band or threshold for inheritance tax purposes that is unused following their death, then the surviving spouse or partner's nil rate band or threshold will be increased, and so will be higher than normal when the surviving spouse or partner dies. Now, the portion that's unused at the date when the first spouse dies is then applied to the nil rate band in force on the death of the remaining spouse or civil partner, and then that additional portion is then added to the normal nil rate band. Please note that this unused portion can't be used to reduce inheritance tax that's payable on lifetime gifts. So if somebody makes a chargeable lifetime transfer, we will simply work out the tax on that transfer during the person's life using the normal nil rate band. So let's have a look at how this transfer would work. We have Jeff, who died in 2002-03 when the nil rate band was just £250,000. Now, he left legacies totaling £125,000 to his children, and the remainder was left to his spouse, Joan. Now, please note that the legacies that have been left to his children will have used up 50% of the nil rate band that was applied at the date of Jeff's death, and that's been calculated as the £125,000 left to the children divided by the nil rate band of £250,000. What this means is that 50% of his nil rate band was unused, and this can be transferred to the surviving spouse. And the way that this works, let's say that Joan dies in 2016-17, then we would calculate her nil rate band as follows. We would start with the normal threshold, or the normal nil rate band of £325,000, and then we would add on an additional amount relating to the amount that was unused by the spouse. But what we do is we apply the percentage that was left unused by Jeff to the nil rate band that that existed at the date of Joan's death. So that's 325,000 times 50%, or 162,500. We'll add these two together. That gives us 487,500, and that is Joan's nil rate band that will be used when we calculate any inheritance tax on her death estate.